Good morning, third grade. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a good day today. We are doing something brand new today in math, and it's going to be a little tricky if you don't have a ruler. So if you don't have a ruler, I just want you to kind of watch and see what we're doing. If you have a ruler, you want one this size. So this is clear. It's kind of hard to see. Um, this is the same size ruler, okay? But the same rulers that we use in the classroom, the 12-inch rulers, this is what you want today. So if you know where there is one of these in the house, pause the video, go find it. If you don't have this, I'm not going to spend too long on this because I don't want it to be a waste of your time. But I also want you to see, and it might be kind of fun to do later if you find a ruler later, or mom, dad can help you find one, you can get it, okay? Now I want to show you what I'm doing because it's a little funny because we're not doing this in the classroom. Normally I'd be going around and doing my ruler on your guys' papers. I don't have your books in front of me. I can't walk up to you and help you. So I drew an enlarged version of it. It matches the one in our book, but look what I did. So a scale drawing, this is the important thing to know, is this is not really how far it would be from a post office to a store. If I had a real post office here, it would fill up the whole classroom. I couldn't have it this close together, right? So this is kind of like a map, all right? So on our scale drawing on our book, if you look at it, it says 1 inch. Oops. Should do it high here. 1 inch equals 1 mile. Okay, now you guys can tell that is this line from the post office to the store match the same length as the one in your book? No, because your paper, guys, look, our paper is even bigger than the book, than this line. So I drew this really big. Are you ready to see what I did for mine? My scale matches yours, but I did 1 mile equals 1 foot. So I'm pretending this is an inch. From here to here, from here to here, this is an inch. Okay, now it's not an inch. Am I holding it the right way? Yes. This is 12 inches, this is 24 inches, but pretend this is an inch. So everyone hold your thumb up. Your thumb is the width of an inch. If you put your thumb on your ruler, find the inch side, and I put my thumb right in that space. Now actually, my thumb is wider than yours because I'm an adult, right? So your thumb's a little narrower, so it's probably not quite an inch, but it just gives you an idea about what an inch is. Think of your mom's thumb or your dad's thumb. That's about an inch, okay? So every inch on your little lines on your scale drawing equals a mile, okay? So we're gonna see how many inches. Remember, I have a giant enlarged ruler, but pretend this is an inch, this is one thumb, so think of a big giant thumb, and this is another thumb, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure from dot to dot. So I want you to take your ruler, and I'm gonna first start from Ted's house to the post office, just because it's easy for me. And I'm gonna put my ruler, remember this is 1 inch from here to here, and this is my 2nd inch, but see how it's right in the middle? So we would say this is 1.5 inches. So on your paper, I want you to write 1.5 inches right there on your paper, okay? On that line, right, 1.5 inches. Okay, now let's measure from the post office to the store. Okay, post office to the store. I'm on the wrong side of my ruler. I'm gonna move out of the way. Can you guys see that it goes right to my inch line? So this is 1 inch right here. All right, let's do store to ball field. Oh, 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches. This is the same as from Ted's house to the store. I want to double check, make sure I have that right. Ted's house and the ball field. Yep, those match. So these lines here are equal. Okay, let's measure Ted's house to Bob's house. Oh, that's 1 inch. So 1 mile. That's the same as post office to the store. Okay, let's do Bob's house to the church. Ooh, that's bigger than one. Oh, I gotta turn it. Here we go. Okay, Bob's house to the church. So here's 1 inch. Here's 2 inches. This is actually going to be a fourth. Let me show you. So this would be a half, 1.5. If I cut this in half and this in half, now we have fourths. See how it's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So this is 1 3/4 inches. Okay, now the reason that I have us do this first is that when we get to our paper and we have to check post office to the store, Ted's house to the store, church to the post office, it's going to be a lot easier to see this, okay? I was going to do it on the board, but I think I'm going to do it on our paper because I think it'll make it a lot easier. So let me show you what I'm going to do here. So for those of you who don't have a ruler, we just did the hardest part for you, okay? Those of you who had a ruler, hopefully that was fun to get to practice measuring a little bit there. If you had trouble measuring, I always find that it's so much easier with an adult because you have to make sure you line up your ruler right on the edge, and some rulers start at the 0, some start at the end of the ruler, some start at a line. So you really have to practice with it, and it helps so much if you have an adult there, okay? All right, so I'm gonna share this screen, and we're gonna add these numbers that I have on the board to our paper right now. Okay. All right, so here we are. Here was the stuff, the little scale drawing. It's kind of like a map, but this doesn't have roads and streets on it. It's just dots and lines, but every inch equals 1 mile. Okay, so I'm gonna fill these in. Make sure you have this. So if you didn't do this now. Bob's house to the church was 1 3/4 inch. Ted's house to Bob's house was 1 inch. Ted's house to the post office was 1.5 inches. Post office to the store was 1 inch, and the store to the baseball field was 1.5 inches. Okay, so now that I have all of my data on my line, now I can go to answering my A, B, C, D, E, F questions. All right, so let's look at letter A. How far is it from the post office to the store? Well, that's easy. Just look right here. Post office to the store was 1 inch, but we're not going to say 1 inch. What are we going to say? 1 mile. That's right. Because every inch is a mile. All right. Ted's house to the store. So here's Ted's house right here. Here's the store here. So we got to add up some things here. We got to add 1.5 and 1 because we're adding this line and this line. Do you guys see that? Because we need to know Ted's house all the way to the store. So what's 1 inch plus 1.5 inches? 2.5 inches, right? But we're not going to say 2.5 inches. What are we going to say, friends? 2.5 miles. Good job. All right, let's look at our next one, letter E. The church to the post office. Okay, so I'm going to erase some of these blue dots so I don't get us confused. Okay, church is down here. Post office is way up here. So how far is it from here to here? Oops, here to here to here. We got to go all the way to the post office. So let's add 1 inch plus 1.5 inches. Okay, so we've got 2.5 inches, right? Oh, but look, friends, I have to add all 3 of these up. 1.5 plus 1 plus 1 3/4. I'm gonna need some scratch paper. So these two are easy. 1.5 and 1 is 2.5 inches. But now I have to add 1 3/4 inches here. Okay, so I'm gonna have to, these bottom numbers do not match. So this is good, it's doing a little bit of fractions adding for us. All right, so let's turn these into fourths. This one's already a fourth. And this one will become 2/4. Okay, so what's 2/4 plus 3/4? 5/4. Can I leave a 5 on top of a 4? No. Put your 5 in the division house and divide. We will get 1 1/4. So I have to add this 1 1/4 to whatever I get here. What's 2 plus 1? 3. So what's 3 plus 1 1/4? 4 1/4. Good job. So this is 4 1/4 miles. That was probably our hardest one. Okay, let's look at letter B. Church to Ted's house. So let me go ahead and erase these pink lines and this. Okay, church to Ted's house. Okay, so I'm going to highlight it in pink. Church to Ted's house. So from here to here and here to here. What is 1 inch plus 1 3/4 inches? Yeah, we could do that in our head. 2 3/4 inches. But we're going to say 2 3/4 miles. Good job, friends. All right, Bob's house to Ted's house. So let's find Bob's house. Let's find Ted's house. Oh, that's a nice easy one. What's Bob's to Ted's? That's right, 1 inch or 1 mile. All right, and our last one is F, Ted's house to the ball field. Okay, so where's Ted's house? Up here. Here's the ball field down here. So we got to add this plus this plus this. Does anyone know what 1 1/2 and 1 1/2 makes? Right here, 1 1/2 and 1 1/2. So 1 plus 1 is 2. What's a half and a half? That's a whole, right? So 1 1/2 plus 1 1/2 is 3. Good job. And then what's 3 plus 1? 4. So we got 4 inches, but we're writing 4 miles. All right, good job, friends. If you had a ruler and were able to do that with me, awesome. If you weren't, it's okay. It's just good practice for you to kind of see what a scale drawing is. All right. Okay, so let's go down to our math review paper, guys. Tomorrow we have our test in math. That's going to be our final test for the end of the year. So I do want to review some things that are going to be on the test to make sure that we're comfortable and familiar. Okay, so adding and subtracting fractions, that's what I want to focus on today. So let's look at our addition to A, and let's do that one together, okay? So I've got 3/11 plus 4/22. Can I add those two? No, my bottom numbers don't match. Can you think of a number that I can get if I count by 11 and 22? Right, okay, 22, because 11 plus 11 is 22, right? 11 times 2. So this one is already 22. We're going to leave it. This one I have to multiply by 2 because 11 times 2 is 22. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, so what's 6 20-seconds plus 4 20-seconds? 10 20-seconds. All right, let's add up our whole number. 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 plus 6 is 16. Carry my 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 plus 4 is 14. 14 plus 2 is 16. Okay, now a lot of you will say, we're done. 166 and 10 20-seconds. Did anyone see what we have to do here? Yes, we have to reduce. So that's going to be my big thing today. Always checking, can I reduce? Because tomorrow we're going to need to reduce on our test. What can I divide 10 and 22 by? 2. They're both even numbers. How many 2s can go into 10? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 5. Good job. How many 2s can go into 22? 11. So I got 166 and 5 11ths. And that is my answer. Okay, guys. I want you to try letter D by yourself right now. So letter D, you've got to make the bottom numbers match. 3, 6, and 9 do not match. What could I get by counting by 3, 6, and 9? 18. Okay, that is my little hint I'm giving you. I want you to turn them all into 18s and then add those up, okay? And don't forget your whole number. All right. Pause the video, take your time, do it when your head is fresh. All right, let's go to the subtracting fractions. I'm gonna do B and then you're gonna do C by yourself, okay? All right, so I've got 19 and 2/5 minus 16 and 3/10. Do my bottom numbers match? So let's make a match. 5 and 10, 10. Let's turn them both into 10s. Is one of them already a 10? Yes, 3/10. So let's bring that one over. The top one I have to change. 5 times 2 is 10. 2 times 2 is 4. Good job. Okay, can I subtract this? 4/10 minus 3/10. Yes, I don't need to borrow. Only if the bottom number is bigger and 3 is not bigger than 4. What's 4 minus 3? Good. 1/10, so 1/10. And then I don't forget to subtract over here your whole number. What's 19 minus 16? 9 minus 6 is 3, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So my answer is 3 1/10. All right, I left the harder one for you because I want you to practice this for tomorrow. So 9 3/8 minus 4 3/4. They do not match, but I'm going to give you a hint. When you make them match, you're going to need to borrow. There is, let me double check. I don't want to tell you that and it not be true. Yes, you're going to need to borrow. So go slow, take your time on that one, but you're going to have to cross out that 9, make it an 8, and then give a matching fraction like 6, 6, 9, 9s, 8, 8s. You'll figure out which one it is, okay? All right, pause the video and do that. So you should have done D and E by yourself. All right, we're gonna do one word problem together. We're gonna do the first one. Michelle bought 6 yards of cloth at $1.50 per foot. How much did the cloth cost? Okay, so it tells us how many yards, but then it doesn't tell us how much it was per yard. It tells us how much per foot. So there's 2 steps to this process. What's bigger, a foot or a yard? A yard is bigger. That's this big ruler here, guys, right? There's 3 feet in a yard. Do you remember that? 3 feet in a yard. Okay, so if there are 3 feet in a yard, how many feet are there in 6 yards? How would I figure that out? There's 3 feet in 1 yard, so 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. How many 3s is that? 6 3s. Yes, 6 times 3 is 18. So we know she bought 18 feet of cloth. And it was $1.50 per foot. So what are we going to do with that $1.50? Well, is it going to cost more than $1.50 or less than $1.50 for all the feet she bought? It's going to cost more, right? Because she bought 18 feet and each foot was $1.50. So $1.50, $1.50, $1.50, $1.50, $1.50, $1.50, $1.50, all the way 18 feet. So what am I going to do, guys? I'm going to multiply. 150 times how many feet did she buy? If she bought 2 feet, we would multiply by 2. She didn't buy 2 feet. She bought 18 feet. Very good. So 150 times 18. And you know what? I'm going to do it down here because it's going to get a little crowded there, I can tell. Okay, so 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 5 is 40. Carry my 4. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good job. So I've got 12. Let's erase my 4 on top. I'm going to draw my 0 and multiply by my 1. At least 1's a little easier, right? 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, let's add it up and see what we get. 0 plus 0, 0 plus 0, 5 plus 2, 2 plus 1. Oops, it's kind of hard to write. Sorry, I forget I can just move my thing down here. Okay, 27. And this is money. So put your decimal point. How much was it? $27 for 18 feet of cloth. All right, guys. All right, we are going to skip B for right now. And I want us to look on the back. Okay. So let's first look at our matching of our decimals. You guys have been doing such a good job. Let's review and make sure we know what we're doing for our quiz tomorrow, okay? So 7/10. I'm going to look over here and see there's only one that's a 7. So it's going to be obvious to me. If there was one that was double, like say there was a 0.07 or a 0.007, well, then I'd have to start counting decimals and zeros. But since there's only one 7/10, I know 0.7 is correct, right? 3/100, there's only one 3. So we know that is 3/100. Okay, I think this is going to be pretty easy for you guys. Go ahead and finish letter B by yourself, the matching, and see how you do. Okay, all right. Now, for this next part, this which is really trying to gauge where you guys are at, and I really want to give you guys individualized help. So I want you to pick one from section 4. Pick one. Okay, you can't pick C. You have to pick A or B, okay? Then I want you to pick one from section 7. Anyone you want there, okay? And those ones actually won't be on our test, the measurement ones. So we're okay there. Let me just see. For fun, if you want to pick one of these, you can pick one of these, okay? All right, so let's look at the back. What are you doing by yourself? You're doing one from section 4, all of section 5, one from section 7, and one from section 8, okay? All right, guys, take your time, go slow, see how accurate you guys can get, and then I am gonna check your work on our reading group time or tomorrow, actually no, for sure in our reading group time, okay? So we'll get this video watched and do a couple. If you don't do any, then we'll do these on, I'm gonna have you do them during the reading group time, okay? After or before, depending on when you get on. Okay, friends? Because this is my last day to kind of tutor you guys before our final test tomorrow. Okay, friends? So proud of you guys. Go slow, take your time, and I'll see you at reading group. All right, bye-bye.